Everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to the Slowest WAAAGH, where we are playing Tzeentch. This is turn 60. It's a fucking big-ass wall. It's not all pointless side searching, I promise. We got some stuff going on. Some moves need to be made, so let's see where we are at with our plans. We have completed Blood Magic 8. We're going to pop into Conjuration 7 now. And cross our fingers and hope that that works out for us. So we've done a lot of site searching and some transformations. So we'll see how that goes. Voice of Apsu, right off the bat, finds us a Weeping Stone and a Wellspring of Secrets. That is 1 water income each. Augury, Gnome Lore. First transformation succeeds, but it gets us one of the lizardy puppy boys. Gnome Lore, Gnome Lore, Gnome Lore. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Arcane Probing. Next transformation succeeds, gets us a Boar Boy. Next transformation succeeds, gets us a Crow, which is somewhat valuable, but only a Water one, Nature one, I believe. Next transformation fails, and we get one of the fucking weird little disgusting boys. Next transformation succeeds, we get a Bear. Bears are okay. We didn't get any of the things that we wanted. We were really hoping to get, like, one of the better transformation results, preferably the giants, right? I don't know if we can get the giant. I don't know if that's size based, like you have to be a certain size or what, or if it's just all random. But even in the smaller variants, there are some nicer ones. We also didn't get any path boosts, which, sucks, but it is what it is. So no luck there. Ball of Blood, Gnome Lore, Probing, Auspex, Dark Knowledge finds a Reef of Sunken Ships. This is Death 2, so that's kind of nice. Blood, Probing, Auspex, Apsu, Blood, Rainbow, Auspex, Blood, Augury. Augury finds a Magma Cave. This is kind of neat. So it's Earth and Fire, and increases heat by a maximum of 2, which is okay. Okay-ish blood hunting turn for us. So what is this? This is 61. So not quite to that 100 mark, but we are getting closer. Really need to be in the realm of hitting like 20 plus on all of these sites in order to do that, which we are not doing. But we're getting there. Hopefully it'll work out. Got some battles to watch. We have Nehekara attacking Khorne. That's a little brave, but, they gotta do something. So we got this little group of Guardians with a singular... Stop moving around. Necropolis Knight and a... Fucking... What's he called? Oh, he's a Tomb King. Gotcha. Tomb King upgrade. And it's just up against a little bit of Khorne PD. So this might actually work, but it is Barbs... Oh, it did whack a little bit. Okay, 1. Did you lose anything? Didn't lose anything. Nice. Good job. Kind of a pricey raiding party. But, when it works, it works. And more importantly, we have a bunch of attacks from Karaz-a-Karak on Itza. Check the battle on the capital. Anything happening here? We know this army. We've seen this army a couple of times before now. Big, scary, and Karaz-a-Karak is not fighting with their PD. But it is enough to trigger, so we get to see the multiple earthquakes that come out. A billion fucking... Oh, yeah. We've got protection buffs. We've got Army of Fog. I think there are resistance buffs in here. There's Twist Fate in here. There's Regeneration. This is full late game. The dwarves are scary and online with everything. That's not good. But Itza should probably have, they were research leader. I don't know if Karaz-a-Karak overtook them as research leader. I think it was Itza, Karaz-a-Karak, and then me when we saw the graphs a while back. We've got most of the things in our armies now. We've just seen Karaz-a-Karak has most of the things. The assumption is Itza also probably has most of the things. The question, though, is whether or not Itza actually has an army of sizable enough force to actually face off against this and answers to things like the Rune Lords. Because Itza's mages are very, very strong, and their sacreds are quite good. And they can get a lot of them. But they are pretty damn reliant on all of their skink mages, right? Auto-communioning and that whole shenanigan. And the Rune Lords just spamming Earthquake presumably fuck that up, right? Which will fuck up the communions for the Slann, which means that Itza might not have the magic that they need to actually fight what they need. And I don't know if Itza has counters to that online. We're trying to get counters to that, and we're not prepared yet. So, is questionable, right? In Mountains of Madness, Caves of Madness, we get a bunch of Valkyries. And they are up just a little bit of stuff. They will be winning this. Almost undoubtedly. The dwarves are very slow, I will say. The one thing. Not gonna matter, though. And this is unfortunate because Caves of Madness, as we can see if we zoom in, that's the last of the underground provinces that we were trying to take. And he has beaten us there. Is what it is. Not super worried about it. Old Man Mountains, we have a bunch of Rangers. Rangers are fun because they have this axe that they hurl. And they're just good, right? Stealthy units, high-ish protection, hit really hard with a two-handed axe, and they have, like a javelin kind of scenario with the throwing axes, so they do pretty well. Up against no PD here, so not going to matter at all. And they attack into Scraw Point. A couple more Valkyries. He's got so many Sacreds. There are some Saurus here, but it looks like they are not going to be blessed. And it wouldn't matter, that's too many Valkyries regardless for this amount of Saurus. So. Yeah, that's 10 Temple Guards down. Scary, scary, scary. 7th gate unlocked. We got 6 blue, 3 pink, 3 screamers, and 2 flamers. 45 secrets left before we are to the final gate. Unexpected event in Corbian. Unrest. Some gold, 210 gold, and an ice sword. We'll take it. Unexpected event in Mile Deep. Unrest and minus population. That's not great. Unexpected event in Chalad Caverns. Nature gems +6. We patrol out a Yeoman Outrider, bunch of patrolling across the board, get some promotions in Nagaron. What are we doing this turn? This is basically what we're doing this turn. I am not excited about this, and I don't want to do it, but I feel like my hand is forced. I don't feel so we basically have one of two options right now. It feels like we take Greenwoods or we end our nap and immediately start a war with Karaz-a-Karak. Ending our nap is, probably it's not an either or. I should probably be doing both of these things. The issue is most of our forces, right? We could spread them out, but most of our forces are concentrated over here in Nagaron. We can raise forces relatively quickly, and we have some minor forces in our 2 thrones and our cap. But trying to the flip side of that is this might be the biggest concentration in Itza's territory. This might be the biggest concentration of Karaz-a-Karak power. We know he has other stuff elsewhere, right? There's plenty of Rune Guards here, plenty of Valkyries. These guys are not. These guys are cap only. The Valkyries are not cap only. And they are good. They are very good, right? Like the Rune Guard are better, but the Valkyries are perfectly serviceable, especially considering his bless, right? He's got a very, very strong bless. So it's basically a huge pain in the ass to try to deal with, right? I don't feel like we have the answer. That's one of our answers to mass fucking almost instant speed earthquake. Because if we watch this again. This comes out real fucking quick, right? Let's see what we got going on. We got he is doing a featherweight army, so his featherweight army is going to be faster. We get blessings. Oh, he's actually not doing it super fast. He's doing other things first. So he's actually doing kind of a slow roll scenario here. So we could, if he does a slow roll scenario, then we could get it. But of note, right? Like it killed. I think this is very important to note, right? We watched the earthquake come out. So it smashes these basically unprotected units. It does some damage across the board, right? And these are two kind of middle tier protected units. Middle tier, decent HP units. To these, right, I think they are getting more hit with crossbows than anything else, but we can check. The point I'm trying to make is no protection, you're fucked. You're just screwed, right? Mid to high protection, actually not that bad, right? Even with the successive earthquakes. So, we do have some units that are pretty high protection in our Sacreds, and in our Chaos Warriors, and other units like our demons, right? Like, these guys are flying, they're not going to care about it. These guys are flying, they're not going to care about it. These guys will kill. Blue Horrors will get fucked by it, right? Although they do have mundane protection, and I think this works, so that will defend them somewhat. And then the pink horrors also have higher HP and the invulnerability, which again I do think works against earthquake, because I think it's just bludgeoning damage, right? So that is somewhat helpful. Things like our chosen knights aren't gonna care about earthquake, generally speaking. Obviously earthquake does do what is it? Armor piercing damage, right? But 8 damage, even with armor piercing, when you're going up against 22 armor, is generally not gonna do much, right? So the situation is we don't have good answers for our mass mages, but we do have some resistance to the overall thing. If we ended our nap this turn and we were like, okay, we're gonna start fighting, we could probably disperse units and try to get them into the right place to fight. The issue is I think we still lose in a both short-term engagement and a long-term engagement unless someone else comes in. If the elves come in, maybe that's enough, right? If Khorne comes in, that would probably be enough. But the issue with that is if Khorne comes in, I'm worried about Khorne sweeping and winning the game. So it feels like we're in between a rock and a hard place, right? With bad decisions. Even though ending the nap is probably the right decision, instead, we're going to go for option numero uno, and we're going to just try to take Green Woods. I don't want to attack Itza more than I already have, right? Obviously, but that's mostly just vulturing. I don't want to attack Itza. There's a force here. I'm hoping the majority of their military units are still in their capital, which has been immediately... This is another reason why I'm pulling the trigger right now, because this was immediately breached, right? And this army already beat a massive Itzan army over here, so I'm worried that they're just gonna beat another Itzan army and then march on Greenwoods, right? So we are marching on Greenwoods instead. Bringing a whole shit ton of units, nearly 700 units, a decent amount of big stuff, enough mages to do all of the normal things. You know, so this is not correctly scripted, so please ignore the script. I got a little bit lazy / pressed for time, and I just sent everything that I thought I wanted to send over to Ferran. I'm reluctant to do this, and a little concerned to do this, because obviously it looks like we're going to outnumber Itza, but Slann are really powerful mages, and if we know he has some 5th gen here, right? Because we can see the two huge 5th gen. We know their god is here, right? If he can use these 5th generation Slann to outspeed me on something, we could get kind of fucked here. Because again, he can do the same thing that Karaz-a-Karak is doing. It's just Karaz-a-Karak can do it better. And unfortunately, we don't have enough answers online. So part of what I'm doing is kind of dumb, crossing my fingers and hoping. But we are sending a lot of units that I hope will care little about something like Earthquake Spam. We also have quite a few units in here that are going to be just ignore it flat out, right? But, you know, like Sorcerer Lords, the Daemon Princes, they're going to ignore stuff flat out. But there's still plenty here, all of these cultists and things like that, that will get affected by it. I'm kind of hoping... I shouldn't do this, but I'm kind of hoping that we can just get on Greenwoods and then just chill for a second. If we do, I don't know. If we do, I don't think he has a lot of Dominion left, but maybe he does. Got 2 here. He doesn't have much there. Not sure about that. That, you know. Oh, he's got plenty of Dominion here. Oh, this just flat luck. Bunch of sloth. All the magic. All the order. Really interesting. I doubt he's gonna let me, like, preach him down, but that is a consideration. And also, we could, if you know, we take 2 more turns, we could get more Rings of Levitation. We could, teleport item out. There's also Village over here, which I had intended to move this turn, but I did not. I'd intended to Cloud Trapeze him over to Traveler's Rest or Cormark. And then be able to potentially put him into the mix. We could throw... What is it? We could throw the Ring of wizardry on him, because I don't think I have another air booster right now, because we don't have anything that is especially high in air, and I'm kind of working towards that. So we could throw the Ring of Wizardry on him. He'd be Air 3. And at Air 3, he'd be able to immediately Featherweight Army, I think, is the play. But I forgot to move him this turn. So is probably not going to be an option. Again, hopefully Itza won't sit here. Hopefully Itza... they have no reason to ride out. They're not going to make it to their capital in time. But they could maybe, like, teleport people into their capital. The hope is that what he has remaining here by the time we get there is potentially going to be complicating, but not enough to take on what we're throwing. But we'll see, right? Could go absolutely horrible. We'll have to see how it goes. A lot of our money this turn is going to a new lab and a new temple. We are labbing here in Old Giant Woods because we got our Dominion in there. Now that Nagarond is dead, our Dominion is kind of like flooding into these spaces. We're also putting a temple into Ensorcelled Swamp. Gonna try to throw in a few Lizard Shamans. We've got the Sky Metal Adepts, and we have Lizard Shamans right here, so produce them, chunk them into Cormark. I'm still worried about the concept of someone going for a throne play. I don't think Karaz-a-Karak would do it with, like, our nap still on, right? Like, they're not the type of person to violate a nap to go for a throne play like that. But we don't have naps with Khorne. We don't have naps with Bretonnia. Do we have a nap with Athel, Loren? I think we have a nap with Athel, Loren. But, like, Bretonnia, I don't know if they really have the option, but we know, and it's been threatened, or Khorne, we don't know if they really have the option, but Bretonnia has the Windmaster throne, right? Throne of Air. And has kind of like threatened the concept of cloud trapezing a bunch of people onto various thrones. I don't think they could hit any of mine from where they are. Maybe they could hit Namor. I don't know what their situation is over here. Oh yeah, they could probably hit from Dragon Point, right? Cloud Trapeze is 5 provinces. Yeah, they could hit it. So that's a concern, right? It's just something I'm trying to be prepared for. Trying to bolster Namor, trying to bolster Cormark. I'm really kind of paranoid at this point because I feel like we're in a very strong position. But I also feel like we're not gonna get to. We have big banks in Glamour and Death. We have really good income across the board. We have really good gym income across the board. We have really good gym or regular income. Our scales are good. We have good ideas as we're moving towards the future. I think our research is competitive enough. Probably still third, but probably competitive enough to keep up with Itza, who's gonna be dead soon, probably, and then keep up with Karaz-a-Karak, right? So, like, I feel like we have some good moves and we're in a good place, but I'm just super worried that the game's gonna end before I feel like I can go off, which is my own fault, right? There's a number of different things that I probably could have done starting around 20 turns ago. We're kind of behind the curve on where I want to be with specific things. Specific things in the realm of, like, path boosters, going for things like, what's the name? My brain. Master and Slave, right? Like, there's a couple of different plays that I was presuming we would be making, and I've kind of fiddled around in response to those, so I'm not sure we're gonna get there, is part of the issue. But we're gonna try. We're gonna make an attempt. So What else are we doing this turn aside from moving a lot of forces towards Green Woods to try to take that before Karaz-a-Karak gets there? The current plan, aside from a number of just random things like site searches and shit like that, making rings of levitation as we kind of continue to try to work towards that concept, is we are contacting another Daemon Prince. And I keep saying this, and it's because it's true. Is I should probably not be spending so many gems on Daemon Princes. I have several of them. I have 7 right now, I believe. Yeah, we have 7 Daemon Princes, which is nice. They are very useful. I am ruled by my OCD. Obsession. I'm trying to get to 12 Daemon Princes so we can, or maybe just 11 Daemon Princes. Maybe we won't go for 12. I'm trying to get to a certain number of Daemon Princes so we can have one of everybody. And if I hadn't lost a bunch against Nagaron, then we would probably already be there. But that's what I'm doing right now with all of my fire gems, is trying to get to a bunch of Daemon Princes so we can have one Daemon Prince for everyone, and just fuck around and find out. But we should be spending our gems on Spawn Cavalcade probably. Instead, we need the combat power at this point, right? I shouldn't be spending so much on singular entities that aren't gonna survive against, you know, a group of Valkyries, right? Where are they at? Yeah, an additional 10 armor-piercing damage against demons. Not gonna survive a group of Valkyries, so instead, especially when I'm saying, oh, I don't feel comfortable ending my nap because I don't feel like I have the forces to fight him right now. Well, if I was spawning Cavalcade in multiple locations, we could go from 0 forces, or not enough forces, to a lot of pretty potent forces really fucking quickly, right? So this is a mistake, but OCD triumphs. We'll see if it bites me in the ass. And then, of course, we've been working up towards this for a while, but we are doing a Curse of Blood this turn. Does take a huge bite out of our blood pool, but we're getting enough to where, what is it, every other turn we can get a vampire right now. First couple vampires will probably go to another place to site search, maybe 2 more places to site search, until we can get to that point to where we do have enough blood income to get a vampire every single turn. That honestly won't take an especially long time. I would bet that by turn 70, we've got 100 blood a turn, and we're getting a vampire every turn. And that's kind of like the generalized idea. We could also swap, right? Like we don't have to be beholden. Keep looking at the wrong thing. We don't have to be beholden to the idea of just vampires. That's just kind of what I'm aiming for right now. But we could use blood for a number of other things. We could dip into blood. We could very easily snag Infernal Tempest or Infernal Forces. Forces of Ice, maybe, I think, could do without a crazy issue. Infernal Crusade we could potentially do, right? So we do have access to these. We could snag them, but it would be a solid decision that we would have to make. Whereas vampires, I feel, is a very free kind of like, oh yeah, sure, we'll just do that. So we'll see how that works out. Anything else big happening this turn? I don't really think so. Lots of little like menial keeping up the various different tasks and jobs of running an empire. So I think that's probably it. Let's take a look at our Dominion. We've lost Numecria. That's unfortunate. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, only 10. Eesh. Unfortunate. So yeah, we got that going on. We're also losing ground down here in Palia and Dreher Caverns because of the quantity of Karaz-a-Karak temples. Pain in the ass. So yeah. Alright, that's it. We're gonna cross our fingers. We're probably gonna have a fight to watch here. We're also, again, I talked about this previously, we're trying to get scouts basically on all the other thrones because I am really worried about a throne rush. So scouts heading over towards thrones, scouts heading over towards thrones, scout basically at a throne. We got a scout on a throne here, scout on a throne here, scout about to be on a throne here. Just trying to get eyes on stuff, so that we can have a decent understanding of where the fuck, what the fuck, why the fuck, how the fuck. And yeah, that's it for the turn. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.